And rising, beautiful people, what's going on? This is Mike with the 1% Mindset. I hope you're doing absolutely amazing. It is Friday. What's the date today? Friday, September 22nd. Of course, if this is your first time listening to this podcast, this is your jolt of inspiration each and every single morning to get your day started. It's your cup of coffee of motivation, or as I like to say, it's the work before the work. So whether you're on your way to school, gym, work, wherever it is, this podcast will get your day started. Man, I am pumped. It is the end of the week, so I hope you've had a phenomenal week. Shout out to me, the Mental Jolt team, the people who've been putting the videos together and doing the clips. This is our first week back in 6 months, and it feels amazing to provide value, to do it in a bigger way. Right, that's important. We've done it in a bigger way because we realize that, man, how we did it before is not how we want to do it now. We want to continue to provide value and continue to grow in the process. And today's episode is the power of no. The power of no. See, I'll tell you a quick story. And you know, when I speak about these things, and when I give analogies or come with lessons, these are lessons that I deal with personally. These are lessons that I've seen happen. These are lessons that that I'm growing in, that I want to share because I know that ultimately it is something that can help, right? It's something that can help you. I decided a couple weeks ago, or probably last week, hey, I'm gonna do a leadership program, right? I went through the program already, and they wanted me to come back to coach that program for about 4 months, and I was a little bit reluctant, right, because I have so much going on, but I was excited. I was excited to do it, and you know, when it was offered to me, I had hesitancy, and the person, you know, one of my coaches coached me into my commitment to make it happen. Yo, you can do this, right? You focusing outward, giving back, right? Providing value to people who, you know, once provided value to you. And I was all for it because I do understand the power of giving back. But you also have to understand the power of no. And not because you don't want to do it, but you just may not have the capacity. They talk about on a plane all the time. Make sure you cover yourself first before you can help others. There's a reason for that, right? Because I have so much going on personally, which is okay, right? Nothing wrong with that. Everyone has their stuff. But in order for me to integrate something new into my life, right, it has to be able to integrate within my life as I'm growing my business, as I'm growing my relationships, as I'm growing my friendships, excuse me. It has to be able to integrate. I don't want to integrate my life into that. And one of the things that is important, whenever you're doing something, hear me out. If you commit to doing something, you have to commit 100%. Regardless whether you don't want to do it or you do want to do it, it has to be 100%. This life is a game. When you're in the experience of life, when you're doing life, you gotta understand life is a game. Right? You don't win, lose, or draw in life. That's all perspective. That's all your experience that's all your feelings to how you're experiencing life. But nobody leaves this earth and I say, man, you're the winner at life, man. You won at life. Or no, you lost. It doesn't happen. It's an experience. It's how you play the game of life. It's how you will experience it or how others will experience you. And if you're not playing life in all aspects 100%, then why are you playing at all? If you decide that you're not doing it, then you have to respect and understand, and people have to understand your no. You can't be easily manipulated to that, right? Because a weak mind will always be manipulated. Your experience has to be 100% at all times. So I'll tell you what happened. So now I'm going, and I said, man, I'm going to do this program. I'm excited about it. And then I look at the commitments. I look at what's required. And I said to myself, can I be with this, with everything that's going on? Am I going to have to integrate my life into this, or do I want to integrate this into my life? That was important for me. That was an important question that I had. Now look, There's something about you, and you have to stretch yourself to levels, right, that are uncomfortable, because that's where breakthrough happens. Hear me out. Breakthrough happens when you have to stretch yourself to new levels. So I'm going to sit here and acknowledge that I said, man, it's going to be a lot for me to integrate that, because it's going to require a stretch. Here was my non-negotiable. Here was my honest space. Will my stretch of integrating that into my life cost me in other areas of life that are important to me? And the answer was yes. Right? I wasn't willing to give up certain areas, and not areas that I'm comfortable in, areas that I'm trying to grow in, areas that are important to me in relationship, areas that are important to me in friendship, areas that are important to me in business. Those are priority. And as soon as I lose priority into what's important to me to integrate something else that I'm not 100% focused on, then I'm not playing life 100%. Then you shouldn't be doing it. That's how you know you shouldn't be doing it. And you can feel that in a lot of different areas and a lot of different things, right? The first thing that comes to mind, the most popular, is relationships, right? When you know you're not supposed to be with this person, right? Because certain things are important to you, but you're just doing it anyway. You're doing it because you feel guilty that you have to do it. You do it because, you know, you're not sure you can find someone else. You do it for all these reasons other than understanding what's your commitment, what's your priorities. If you can align with understanding what your commitment is and the priority behind it, then the things that aren't as important, the things that are taking up time, the things that that make you feel bad, start to change. You know, you start to realize, like, man, it's not that important. It's what's tougher is for me to disappoint and give that up. What's tougher is me to be in a space where I say, you know what, I can't do this, even though it'll make me feel bad. But you got to understand your commitments and your priorities. That's first and foremost. Because when you do that, your no will start to mean something, not to other people, but to you. Those hard no's, that's important. That's what I realized. So when I committed, or what I thought was commit, and then decommit, I had to sit here and say, are my priorities, are my commitments in line and in order for the betterment of what it is that I want? Once I realized it was easier to make the decision despite being disappointed, or despite disappointing other people. Because all I was going to do was going to play this game not at 100%. And in life, every game needs to be at 100%. Of course, I hope this resonated with you. I hope you're feeling me, fam, because this is important. I love you. Peace.